So now that we've completed steps 1 through 12 to build our web page, we want to look at what we need to do for each specific class. So Ed 101 is traditionally the class that students take first in the education program. Occasionally a student will take Ed 121 first instead. If you are an Ed 121 student who has not yet taken Ed 101, you need to complete these Ed 101 steps. They are necessary for what you will be doing within your portfolio, and you will just mark them off your date on the Ed 101 section. They still need completed. So for Ed 101, we say that you create various pages within your portfolio. Your About Me page, your Credentials page, your Philosophy of Education page, your In-Task Standard page with 10 sub-pages, and then you will do an artifact. You will be doing an artifact in each of your education classes, whether you are an elementary or a secondary education major. So within the pacing guide, there are some tutorials. You also have the videos that are custom made for our portfolio, and then there are some example portfolios down here. So once you are done with these things, there is a checklist where you put the date completed. So this is the Ed 101 checklist, but if you're completing these in Ed 121, you still want to complete this portion. But then for Ed 121, you would also fill in the Ed 121 portion. So we are in the process of making all of the pages within the Ed 101 section. So About Me. So let's look at our web page. So here is our web page that we made. First thing we need to do is make sure that this web page is about us and not about the person who is currently in the template. So my name is not Nicola Ryder, it is Tara Kaser, and I am not a fashion editor. I am an education department chair. Okay, so next I'll look and see none of this contact information at the bottom is about me. So these are not my phone numbers. So I don't have a fax number, so I would just completely erase that part. And then here for this, I would input my phone number so that if someone is looking at my webpage and wants to contact me, they have my actual information. If you don't feel comfortable having your phone number on there, you could either create a Google Voice, which would give you a phone number that is not the one that's actually to your phone, but it can still make your phone ring, or you can just leave that section off. So this is not my email, so I'm going to replace that with my actual email. There is nowhere to follow me, so I'm just going to delete this section. So if you have a LinkedIn, at that point you could put your LinkedIn. Because of that, I'm going to go ahead and scooch these other things over so that they are more centered here. So it's still a little off. I play with it, but there we go. Okay. So now, oh, okay. This was, oh, I didn't mean to double click quite that much. This was created with Wix. It was created in 2021 by Tara Kaser. So the bottom is updated, the top is updated. So now let's look at this picture. You want to make sure that you have a professional looking picture. You do not want to choose a picture that represents you in a way other than as a teacher. So you want to make sure that you are being very careful about what you pick here. So professional looking picture. So there we go. So now I am clearly an education department chair and not Nicola Ryder. Okay, so for my About Me, you can label this what you want. I'm just going to be super simple here, About Me. And in this paragraph, you would add information about yourself. So here in this paragraph, add your information. Okay, so it would be more than that, obviously. So that takes care of your About Me once you actually add your stuff. So you'll add how have you gotten here, why you want to be a teacher, what do you enjoy. So I'll go ahead and add that in here as well. Oh, that's not what I wanted. It didn't actually copy. Here we go. Copy, paste. There we go. Okay, so your various information, your About Me page. So next you see, the next thing you want to add are your credentials. Well, this template was actually super nice because look at this. It has a resume one, and resume is something that's going to be part of my credentials. So let's change what this button says. You can keep it as my resume, but since you're going to have more than just your resume there, I would switch to credentials personally. And then I would rename this page. So up here, you're going to see that you have your various pages. So go to My Pages. Instead of Resume, I want this one to be called Credentials. And now that page is called Credentials. And I guess for the sake of capitalization, I'm going to make this one say Home with the same capitalization. Okay, because I know how these pages are set up, I know that the projects page, which we can go to here, is going to be set up much nicer for my in-task standard page than my philosophy of education page. It's just the nature of this template, and so because it's already set up that way, I'm gonna go with it. And so instead of projects, this is going to be called in-task standards. So, however, I need that philosophy of education page. So I'm going to go ahead and add that as well. So this order of pages doesn't work for me, so I'm going to come up here and I'm going to reorganize it. So if you want to keep the contact page, you can. You can delete it. You can make it something different. I'm going to go ahead and keep that page. So now I have my home, my credentials, my philosophy of education, my in-task standards, and my contact page. So within your credentials page, this is where you'll be uploading your resume and cover letter. So many of you will make that in Ed 101. If not, you will want to add what you have here to the page if you have one. So it can be brief if you haven't made one formally. However, your CCEC department would love to work with you on building a resume and cover letter, as it is one of your milestones for CCEC. So from there, currently you probably have not yet written your philosophy of education, but once you write your philosophy of education in your Education 101 class, you will add that to this page. So let's look at the in-task standards page next. So if we come up here and go to in-task standards, what we need on this page is we need each of the 10 in-task standards, and then we need to have a way to link to each of those. So if I go back to Manage Pages, so you'll see here that there is a nice link to a file with the in-task standards. So if you look here, you see all 10 of the in-task standards. And so this is going to be super helpful when you are making your standards pages or subpages. So let's go back to Manage Pages. You want to add a new page. So let's call this Standard Number 1, Learner Development. And so we see currently it is just another page. I want it to be a subpage, so I'm just going to take it and drag it in a little bit. And now it is a subpage. And if I hit new page while it's on that subpage, it's automatically going to make my other pages subpages as well. So learning differences. And so you're going to repeat this for each of the 10 standards. You can also just copy and paste, but for me, it's just as quick to go ahead and type them. Okay, and you'll see this goes really quick once you're in here. It sounds intimidating to make 10 pages here, but you'll notice that they each only take a couple of seconds here to make. There's 8, standard, number 9, professional learning. Oh, and it doesn't want to let me go any further than that. And oh, well, I may take off the word. There we go. Just so we can fit it all. It's giving me difficulty here with the length of page name. We'll just put, you know what? We're just gonna shorten that. Professional learning. There we go. And we'll have the rest of it on the page. There we go. So we have our 10 subpages built. So if we look at our web page, we can see, if we go to preview, that here under this page, we have these 10 pages. So pages in task standard pages 1 through 10. So all of these pages are built. In the next video, I will show you how to edit the content on each of these pages to add the standard information that you need.